Hi everyone, it's me Elna on day 4 of the 5 days finding freelance writing tips. Alright, I just have to loosen up my headphones a bit. Alright, so let me know if you can hear me and give me a thumbs up if you want to let me know that you're here. Please introduce yourself. I'm having such a fun time teaching you how to do some freelance writing tips. All right, and today we're going to be talking about finding your perfect and profitable niche as a new freelance writer. Sorry, I feel like I have a frog in my throat or something. I apologize again for coming a bit late. My twins, for some reason, didn't want to go to sleep, so they were talking and talking, so they just quieted down about 5 minutes ago, so I thought I can jump in right now. Now I don't want this to be long, so because I don't want to keep you away from whatever you're doing tonight, but yeah, I just want to get right into it. So as I was saying, we're going to be talking about how to find that niche for you. With a lot of new freelance writers, and one of the first things that you have to decide is your niche. Now, some people may not decide to do that right off the bat, but you're going to have a hard time to find your way through this business, basically. When you don't build that solid foundation for your freelance writing business, it's going to be hard to make money, right? So part of that foundation is finding your niche, basically, right? And also finding the type of clients that you want to write for, right? So once you find those two elements, then everything sort of falls into place so that you can start adding to that foundation and making a real thing out of your freelance writing business, basically. So it's real important and imperative to find a niche. Now, one of the things that I like to teach in my course, Write Your Way to Your First 1K, is that, you don't have to box yourself into one niche. Since you're brand new, why not explore a couple niches? I suggest you pick at least 3 to start off and see where those go. You might find that you will enjoy writing in one of those niches and you'll land clients a lot faster in that niche than the other ones. Or you might find that all your niches aren't profitable. You're finding a hard time trying to make more than, let's say, 5 cents a word, and you're trying, but for some reason you're getting nowhere, and that could be the niche that you've picked. We're going to go into that on finding that profitable niche and how do you do that, right? So we're going to go into that. Okay, so I want to let you know that, have you heard the saying, the riches in the niches, right? It's true that in the blogging industry, that for a blogger, you really need to find a niche to be profitable, right? Because it's true, the riches are in the niches. I'm so not good with like phrases and things like that at all, or sayings. I had to write that down. So if you want to make a living as a writer, you need a high paying niche. It's, you're not gonna get anywhere far if you're just making $25 a post, or if you struggle to find, let's say you're really you might have like a journalism background or educational background as a teacher, and you really want to focus on that curriculum writing for publications. If you don't know where to look and how to sort of navigate your way to finding those clients, it's going to be hard. You might find that those clients are just at that moment not attainable. So you have to sort of look at other places to find your right client and the right niche. I'm not going to go too much into finding that perfect sort of ideal client, because that's a whole other thing and I don't have time to talk about that, but I will go more into finding that niche. I do have my notes down here, so I'm going to probably be looking at them frequently just because I haven't had time to really run through them. But when you find that perfect niche under your belt, you're going to have no problem securing recurring work. And that's what you want as a writer. At least for me, that's why I really like writing on blogs for my clients, because it's reoccurring. I will always get work every week for my clients. And for some of them that may not have enough, they may not do content every week. If they have other writers on their staff, or that's just not their content schedule, I still get reoccurring work from them on a monthly basis. And that's nice to know. I can start setting my income every week and knowing what I'm going to be making every month. And that's what you want. You want that reoccurring work. So the first thing that you need to start looking at is, find your experiences and your passion to start discovering that niche. All right. So I find that the easiest way is to look at your work history and look at what you're passionate about. So for example, one of my students, Kate, when she was enrolled in the Right to 1K course, she used her knowledge in the industry of the entertainment industry, right? So she has this background in sort of the pop culture and working on TV sets and things like that. So she used that knowledge and was able to land a reoccurring gig on the Time Warner Cable's blog. Now, for me, that's pretty neat. I know who Time Warner is. I mean, that's a big publication in the entertainment industry, right? So she was able to land that based on the knowledge that she had. So, even though you might want to quit that job, don't leave behind that knowledge that you have based on your experience, when you were working, right? So, when I first started, I wanted to tap into that. My experience, my education is in psychology. And so I'm really fascinated by buyer psychology, just any type of emotional based psychology, things like that getting into the headspace. But since I was new, I was struggling trying to find the right client and finding those clients. So, when I look back now, I know what to look for. I might want to lean into, let's say, the startups for app companies that, do those types of apps for personal development things, for emotional HQ things, right? I can go and start cold pitching those types of clients if I really wanted to make a go at that, right? But I didn't. I leaned elsewhere. So use that experience and try to find, we'll go into the next step of how to figure out if that's the right niche for you. But I have another student that was struggling to find her niche. She has a lot of experience in a lot of different topics, but one of them was retail, right? A lot of people have retail experience, right? When you're growing up, that's just sort of one of the couple of jobs that you probably pick up in the beginning, right? As a teenager, you can use that experience, and you can write on, like in the e-commerce niche. That's a huge industry online, and you can fit there really nice if you have any retail experience. And I can bet you that a lot of people do. And you can also look at your passions to discover what you want to write about. So, if you enjoy traveling, gardening, horseback riding, something similar like that, then you're gonna find, you'll be able to find some paid work along that way. It may not be consistent work, but you'll find publications, magazines, websites that pay for that type of content. And that's something that you can get going in the beginning, right? So now you're probably thinking, well, do any of these niches pay well, right? Because not all niches are the same as far as what you can get. There are some lucrative niches out there. So even though you might pick, let's say, the parenting niche, you may not get far in that niche. It all depends. It really all depends on actually when you're looking at the client that you're seeking, right? So when I say that, it's a very broad, general statement, but then you have to take it at a deeper level on honing on that client. So if your niche is parenting, for example, you're not going to get a lot of money if you start seeking, let's say, mom bloggers that you need a content writer to write some posts about toy reviews and app reviews and breastfeeding and all those little parenting topics, because they're running a business and they're trying to grow some other things, so they might hire a content writer. I can bet you they probably don't have a big budget, because they're a solopreneur, they're a mom blogger, they're just getting started themselves, right? You could pick up that gig in the beginning, but trying to go in that vein might be hard to make a living out of that. But if you end up finding, let's say, some popular publications, some magazines in the mom sort of parent niche, then you can make dollars a word, right? So like I was saying, it all depends on the end product, which is your client. So, but again, I keep going into that, but I'm not going to be talking about that. Sorry. So when we backstep, when you start picking a couple niches, like pick up to 3, you want to start to look and validate those niches. See if it's marketable online, because it may not be. So this is when you start doing heavy research. Sorry, to make sure that your niche is marketable and there are actually clients and businesses that are seeking writers in that niche. So there's a couple places that you can start looking at right away. For me, I like to look on job boards. So a popular one is Problogger. If you go to problogger.com and go to their job board, they have a search function. So in the search function, type in your niche. So, type in parenting, or type in IT or tech or marketing or gardening, whatever your topics are. And you get to see, sort of get a glimpse if there are actually, projects out there that clients need and that are willing to pay for. If you find that there's a lot, then go into those job ads and see if they're showing the rate of what they're willing to pay. Some job ads will and some won't. But that will give you an indication of sort of the top end and the low end of what your niche is worth. Now, again, that's not to say that that's the end all be all kind of thing, because you can go outside of job boards and find high paying clients in another way, right? Through cold pitching or some other method. But again, if you're brand new, you're probably going to stick a little bit with the job boards just to get the ball rolling. And that can just give you a quick glimpse to see, well, if I'm in the parenting niche, it looks like, well, this client's willing to pay me 12 cents a word. A lot of these other prospects are willing to, are only offering, $20 a post kind of thing. So you can see that you have some growth potential if you want to sort of, hash it out and stick in that niche. For me, one of my niches was health. I mean, I was into natural health, and I still am. When I had my twins, I was really vigilant on making sure that everything was, didn't have any chemicals, didn't have any smells, and all that stuff. So I was gaining a lot of knowledge during that time, and so I landed a health blog project based on allergies. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I have seasonal allergies and I know a lot about allergies, so I can write content in that niche. And I was getting paid $85 for 700 words. So I thought that was sweet. I was new, and I had another health client that I was writing for, and he was only paying me $25 a post. So I quickly dropped that client and focused on this new client. And I was writing for them for a long time. So like I said, you have to sort of find that right client that will pay you what you're worth. And you can do that in a lot of niches. But like I said, I'm just sort of focusing on how to find that perfect niche for you in the beginning. You can also go to Problogger, you can go to Contenta, and use their search function to see again where your niche fits in. You can also go on Facebook. Facebook is a great resource, Facebook groups especially, go there and start searching to see if people are needing content or some kind of content in your niche. Now, a lot of times you'll see that they need a copywriter in that niche. You can still pitch to them. You can still offer your service. If, let's say, you're doing, only blog writing, well, then you can still like talk to them, get to know them, and see where you can fit in their marketing strategy, because you never know that they may need a couple blog posts. And it all depends. They may hire you in the beginning to maybe create graphics. Then maybe you are good at graphics. You use Canva or Photoshop, and they might hire you for that. And then later on, they'll hire you for blog content. That's exactly what happened to me. I had the blogger of Real Ways to Make Money Online, or Real Ways to Earn Money Online.com, Anna. She hired me for some graphic work, and then she hired me for some content work. So that was quite neat. I was surprised by that. I did not think that I was going to, I didn't even think of her as a freelance writing potential client at all. Just a graphic designer based project for her. So that was kind of nice. Start looking at Facebook and seeing what's out there. Again, the clients on Facebook are going to be mostly like solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, maybe some small businesses with a small staff, right? With some VAs. And maybe they might even have an editor. They might have hired an editor. So those are the type of clients that you're going to be finding on Facebook. And then the next thing you want to do, once you pick your niche, validate your niche, you want to start creating samples in that niche. So, as I was saying, you can pick up to 3 niches, so create 3 different samples. Now, this is something that I actually didn't do for some reason. I have no idea. I think since I was, like I said, I made a lot of mistakes when I first started, and that tripped me up for a lot of time. Like I wasn't really going anywhere. I made one sample in the parenting niche. I remember that. And I made one sample. I guess you can classify it as health, but it was more like online education, entrepreneur stuff. So I think it was about like how to do like culinary arts, how to how to get a degree in culinary arts. I think I did a little sample on that for some reason. I have no idea why, but I did. And I don't remember the other sample, but I had another sample. Oh, maybe it was on behavior and mood, because again, I was interested in that, in the sort of education and psychology aspect. So I had those 3 samples. So start creating samples in those niches. Now, if you are not interested in blog writing and you're interested in, say, only copywriting, well then maybe you can create content in that form, as far as like an email newsletter for a company, for a health food distribution company. Write a newsletter in that niche. You can create a simple freebie, a lead magnet, basically. Create a little cheat sheet of that. And you can do different things to show that you have a persuasive copy on copywriting. But for me, I find that blog samples are a really great sample to have. Basically, when you have a blog post, it's a great sample to show. It shows your versatility, and it shows how you write for an online audience. All right, so the 4th thing you want to do once you have all that in place is now you need to start becoming an expert in that niche. And so even though you have all this, let's say you pick your niche based on your experience, your work history. So you do have all this knowledge, right? But no one knows that online. No one knows that you ran your own, let's say, finance. You did personal finance, for a big CEO company and for big clients. Like, no one knows that online. So, instead of just like stating that as a fact on your blog, like putting your resume on your blog or on your site, the next best thing that you can do is start guest posting, start doing other things to show that you're an expert in that niche. And so guest posting is the perfect way to show that. So finding those relevant blogs that you think clients are going to be on, and that, that are also popular. There's two types of guest posts or guest blogs that you can guest post on. Those that are high profile, so something like Smart Blogger, even like something like the Huffington Post, those are big platforms. Scary Mommy, for example, those are all big platforms that will reach a lot of people. And that's okay. Get samples in those niches, or guest post in that niche of those blogs, right? And then there's the smaller niche sites. So those are the blogs that might cater to exactly your niche. And so like a gardening blog, for example. One of my samples was in, since my background is in education and helping special needs children, I did place a guest post on a woman's site that catered towards that education philosophy. So I made a sample there as well, about reinforcement and how to help kids do positive reinforcement for these kids. So there's also those types of sites that you want to land guest posts on. So you have sort of both things on your portfolio. You also want to be reading and following industry experts. So this is when social media is your best friend. Get that Twitter profile up and start following big gurus in your industry. Since my industry is content marketing, I'm following Neil Patel, John Morrow. I'm following these people, Darren Rouse, all of them, just to be on their radar and just to share their content and follow them. Basically, you can get on their email list as well. I think I'm on Neil Patel's email list. I don't remember, but just doing that, and also start commenting on their blogs. That will definitely get you noticed, and that was one of the ways that I got noticed on some big blogs and got hired to write on those big blogs. So it was basically showing my expertise or just getting out there by blog commenting. And then finally, you want to start learning and saying no to inquiries outside of your niche. Now, like I said, I don't recommend that for brand new writers. I want you to start pitching to anything and everything that's relevant for you and what you're interested in writing about, right? Because your goal is to gain clients and get work and get paid. But like I said, once you sort of figure that out, you have a couple clients under your belt, you are happy with what you're writing, you've found this really nice niche that you enjoy writing in, and you're getting paid well, this is when you start paring things down and honing that niche so that everything around you online shows that you're the expert in that niche. And it took me a while to do that. My website, innovativeinc.ca, has gone through a lot of different brands, a lot of different copy messages. When I first started, I was, marketing myself as this general content writer. I didn't want to exclude anyone, so I will write anything you want. That's what I basically said. Now I landed clients, but I was landing clients in all different sorts of niches. I had a social media writer client, so doing social media writing. I had a client in the virtual effects industry, about things. I had a client in the health industry. So I had varied clients, and I even had clients in the app, sort of a new app that they had there. So I was just writing anything, and so I was still picking up clients. Then I changed my copy a little bit to sort of talk more about content and the value that I had as a content writer. So adding that, I think my tagline was adding color to your content. I wanted to show that if you hire me, I can give you that engaging content that you need for your blog, to capture your audience and to get those leads. So I was working a little bit in that, but again, I was still writing and accepting any gig that came my way. It wasn't until recently that I wanted to market myself as the digital marketer writer, and I changed my copy, and it's all about digital marketing. So now any inquiries that come to me are well, not any, but most inquiries that come through to me are for digital marketing content. I get those people that want my writing on, home decorating. So for some reason, or on other types of niches, but I have to learn to say no to those and turn those down. Offer them up to my course students, offer them up to other writers, because I don't want to write in those niches anymore. I want to sort of focus on my digital marketing niche. And that will help you by saying no, that will help you make more money, right? And it'll allow you to start making a living as a writer. And not just any writer, you'll be a professional writer because you're getting paid now for the work that you put out there. So you're a professional writer now, right? And, what's great is that you are in this position now that work is coming to you. You can pick and choose the work you want, and you can set the rate that you want, right? That's when, even though let's say you're in the parenting niche or in some lower paying niches, if you can carve yourself in that niche as sort of this expert in one element in that niche, then you can be exclusive on who you pick as your client, and you can have premium rates then. So, but as I was saying that, it's revert. You can also do it a different way. You can find your niche a different way. So another way is you can reverse all that and pick a profitable niche, because there are profitable niches. And if you're able to sort of expand your knowledge and learn on as you're growing your business, then why not do that? That's sort of something what I did. I didn't pick my niche. It revealed itself to me. But if you're interested, the top profitable niches out there for the online industry are finance, business, marketing, WordPress, and B2B. Those are the top 5 niches that if you gravitate towards and start learning, you can be profitable. So, and you can learn on the job, basically, right? That's what I did. I had those 3 niches, and as I was saying, I was getting clients in all these different topics, but at the same time, I was learning to market my business, and I just gravitated towards marketing strategies and learning everything. I had to learn everything about Twitter. I wasn't on Twitter before I was a freelance writer, so I had to learn, what were hashtags? What was the tagging concept? I had no idea, but I learned it as I was writing samples and guest posting. I was learning on the side. And then I started obtaining clients in that niche. And that's where I am today. Now, if you're still struggling to find your niche, my course, Write Your Way to Your First 1K, has a profitable niche workbook that sort of goes through the steps that I sort of talked about, but gives you some time to write and sort of mix and match and find that perfect niche for you. I feel that's a really handy sort of workbook to go through, and it sort of gets you on the right path. All right, does anyone have any questions? I see I have some people here. Woohoo, say hi. But yeah, that's my tips for today about finding that perfect and profitable niche. Yeah, let me know if you're a writer, what niche are you in? I want to know. I want to see, are you finding that you're struggling to find clients in that niche? Are you finding that it's your niche or the clients that you want that you're struggling with? Finding who you want to write for can also be a big struggle for a lot of freelance writers. But I think the biggest challenge is that niche, is finding that niche and feeling like you don't want to just write in that niche. And like I said, that was a hard thing for me. Like, I didn't want to lose I was turning down work. Like, why would I turn down work, right? Like, it was work coming to me. But ultimately, once I started doing that, I was making more money. So it does work. So have faith in that. When you pick that niche, have faith and stick with it, and work with it. Work with your niche. Work with trying to find profitable clients and high paying clients. Find that. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you be. Thanks for coming in and being with me. And tomorrow is the last day. I've been really like excited about these days, and you know, it's sort of in my sort of day now. So it's going to be kind of funny after I don't do this anymore. But tomorrow I'm going to go into the sort of the different the top ways to find freelance writing clients online. It's just going to be a broad overview of all the different methods. I sort of touched on them briefly in a lot of my my Facebook Live videos about different ways. So I'll go a little bit into those. And yeah, I'll leave you at that. And don't forget to grab your free guide on accelerating your freelance writing business in 7 easy steps. So grow your income that way. It's the link is up there, and yeah, go ahead and grab that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.